or the Ferrari the faster car right now? It's pretty even, I guess. It comes down to who's driving.
And track specific as well. I think those two are the second and third post team. They're on par in my opinion. It's just whatever characteristics the track suits best for them.
Practically a good chunk of this. Diaby leaving for 55 million essentially brought you
another Premier League club.
The Premier League essentially funded Bayer Leverkusen's run to the top, because with just Diaby being sold, you got Boniface, you got Tella, and then you have some residue that you're able to get Xhaka with. Welcome everybody, happy Wednesday, and if you know if it's a Wednesday, it's the Tinfoil Hat Show, because I am beardless. Made it a little bit dramatic, but welcome everybody. We've got some Euros. We're going to recap some transfer news as well that's been going around the interwebs. Has Chiesa found a new home because he is about to be put up for adoption, and we have a young Olympic athlete that we have just told that you cannot compete in the Olympics, officially joining Juve. Here to join me and the lollygagging and shenanigagging, we've got German Dave and we've got Canadian Dave, both with beards. How are you guys?
Better than you. Look better than you at the very least.
Oh yeah. Man, I don't understand why you're shaving all the time, man. I don't understand that lifestyle.
I do a clean shave like once or twice a year. Get some oil, just get some nutrients.
Never.
Bacon grease.
Never. Fuck
You're
the
weird.
nutrients.
That's like some wives' tale shit that you're going off there.
What, bacon grease?
No, just like shaving to get oils. Like your hair has the oils. Getting rid of the hair gets rid of the oils.
Just put more
whatever. You know what?
Yeah,
you can tell me whatever you want. I'm not going to believe.
I freaked out. Okay, I had gray hairs. No, I'm just kidding.
My beard is the most essential part of my body. I'm not shaving that guy off.
Oh shit, guys! Before we forget, before we just lose our mind on how ridiculous Dash's face is right now, like the chat's even saying, Sal hates it too.
My chin says hello.
I don't know. Dave shouldn't be allowed to judge because he did it himself. Not too long ago.
I had to for work.
Yeah, he had a respirator thingamadoodle.
Yeah, I got to do that every couple of years. I don't do it because I want to.
You make it sound like I want to.
Choices were made. Anyways,
fair enough.
Guys, like and subscribe, please. Man, we blew up the past couple of days thanks to Habibi. We're at 1890. Let's get to 1900. Let's do this. Hit that subscribe button, get in there, and we'll get into this show. Enough of that nonsense. All the links, all the socials down in the description. And most importantly, we'd like to drive people to the Discord. We're at 97 people in the Discord. Let's get that up to 100 because, man, that's really where the conversation happens. Like one-on-one group chat, everything. Like that's where the community resides. So
and y'all are missing out on the predictions.
On the predictions. I mean, KB, I don't think he was due yesterday. I believe he was due his jersey, so he won the season predictions. So he chose the alternate kit, third kit off my wall. No longer there. I got just a few other things on my wall now, but he won a shirt off my wall. So get into the Discord and you have the opportunity to get the
right now. we have the Euro predictions running, which is an extremely tight race for now, but we still,
very tight.
or I have to still think of a prize. Technically, I'm leading the table, but I'm not.
He
allowed
give
to win,
himself a
so
prize.
Yeah, you never include yourself, man.
Is the prize best sports pundit? I take that.
No, yeah.
Sure. Well,
Huh?
yeah, it's best sports pundit for a day. We'll give you that.
I
I
just
don't.
work here.
All right, so I'll say let's get weird. We're gonna get weird. Don't worry.
Oh
And
boy. The last-
LJJ. Last premiere, I thought I was alive. Sorry, guys, for being dumb.
Huh?
Oh, I know. That was our first premiere. Yeah, so I decided to do the Habibi video as a premiere.
Oh, and you didn't watch it with them? You know, when you do
I
it
forgot. I
premiere,
didn't
you're
realize what time
watching
it was. Yeah, it just popped up on my phone. I'm like, oh shit, it's 5 o'clock.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I was
Yeah,
making that. Yeah, I was making dinner.
Yeah, when
I'm
you,
I'm sorry, Habibi. We didn't want to leave you alone.
we're
there.
sorry, LJJ. We didn't mean to leave you alone.
But
It
at
was
least
our first
there
premiere. I
were-
mean,
It was
but
his
at least
first
there were a couple
time.
of other
first time.
comments.
was the
It was
first
his
time.
first time. He blew it a little bit prematurely. It happened.
I just didn't. I just thought I didn't know I had to be there.
He busted the nut faster than
No problem.
Verstappen's mechanic guy.
Hey, no problem. Now we
I just
lost our premiere virginity, so now we learn.
Yeah. Now we know. Honestly, I thought it was just be cool to kind of pre-hype Habibi up a little bit, saying, "Hey, we got a video coming up with them, so here you go. Wait for it. It's coming."
It's a great video. Dave and myself, we kind of listened to Misak kind of draw it up on the board a little bit on what he thinks it's going to happen and the players that we need for it to make perfect sense. It's about a 20-minute clip, so if you've got the time, which I hope you do, take a look. It is one of our more popular videos. I know a lot of folks like the tactical breakdowns, but we like to tease you a little bit, not give it to you consistently. So whenever we do drop one, everyone's looking at it. But
Baby.
we've got a couple of things. What do you guys want to start with? Do you guys want to kind of just go into the Euros and a little bit of Copa, and then we move on to the transfer stuff?
I think so. Let's get, because I mean, everyone sort of knows. Well, clients, we know what's happening, right? We've at least checked the scores, but let's talk about the highlights of the Euros. There's honestly, I think Copa is a little more fun to talk about right now, but I mean, well,
Oh no,
get through it all.
The only few minutes I watched Copa America was ironically the single best game the USA played, and after that they shed the bed. Dash remembers.
Yeah. You stayed up for the Bolivia game. I'm glad you didn't stay up for the Uruguay game because
Man, I wanted to watch it, but I completely forgot it. I wanted to see how they get slaughtered by Darwin Núñez and then overaged Luis Suarez.
They didn't really get slaughtered. They were just really poor. Well, and then it's like the referee that was in that game was like his first official match, and like he stopped play for a yellow card, and then we'll just get into the United States. Greg Berhalter needs to get fucking fired because he is fucking dog shit.
Was that his first big match?
Who?
I didn't know
Berhalter, the coach or the ref? The ref.
Oh,
yes,
the ref.
Coach.
Yeah.
Coach, no, that bum's been there for 5 years, and his only resume win is beating Mexico. Dude can't beat a top team to save his life. How? You have a generation of like super Americans in a sense, and you can't, like, the best you can do is beat a limping Mexico? Like, it's unbelievable. Like, how
It doesn't help when Timmy starts like throwing a tantrum on the pitch.
Well, I mean, Timmy did deck a guy in the back of the head, but like, I don't understand it. Like, for me, it's just like, it's insane because it's like I was watching the Uruguay game and I felt like I was watching like a stupider version of Juve in a sense. Like, the players are just kind of like, where does the ball go? Oh, the ball should go here. I have never seen like the amount of back passes that I saw missed. Like, I would think that Locatelli is like the second coming of Iniesta, with like how poor like McKennie to me is just like, what the hell? Like, McKennie looked terrible
from the highlight. It looked like a wrestling match out there.
Oh, it's bad. That's why.
That's what Copa America is a wrestling match.
And then it really is. Anything that Conmebol uses is just fucking WWE. It's like a new version of WWE. Like, the fouls, like the refereeing, the officiating is just dog shit.
And also, ironically, if I saw it correctly, Argentina and Brazil are on the opposite sides of the draw. So book it, man. The referees.
No. You want to make it even funnier for you, German Dave? It's
Go.
Argentina, Venezuela, Ecuador, and Canada all on one side, and then the other side is Uruguay, Brazil, Colombia, and then fucking Panama. Because Panama's like, how the fuck am I here? I'm just here. But you have
Don't shit on Panama.
You have all of the best teams on one side of the bracket, and then you have Messi and his guppies on the other side. Like, unless Canada just pulls some miraculous thing out of their ass and send Messi home, Canada's the only good team on that side besides Argentina.
Did somebody just say Canada's a good team? I've never heard that.
Then let's pray to the God that Alfonso David saves us,
dude.
Like Jonathan David. I mean, we got a couple good guys.
I look at the tournament planning committee, and it's just like, okay, the finals in Miami, and you put Argentina on the easiest side of the bracket. It's just like, I wonder why. And then it's like, they can't afford semi-automatic offsides. Like, they can't afford the technology. They don't have it. So, like, you thought the Kandreva offside against Juve was bad. You should have seen the offside against Uruguay in the United States. That bitch was clear as day. And the guy's like, no, it stands. Why? I drew a line. You used a camera angle at a 30-degree angle to draw that line. Yep, it's still onside. I'm like, okay, sure.
Oh,
fine. God. I mean, again, it doesn't excuse the United States for being absolutely dog shit.
Everything about the tournament is pretty bad.
American and South American football is so hilarious, man. I love it.
It's a joke. It's a joke, and that's why, like, in my head, I'm still appalled that Argentina somehow shithoused their way to a World Cup.
And guess what? They will shithouse themselves to Copa America.
They're gonna shithouse themselves to a Copa America.
Are they gonna get a double? A national double?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I hope there's something funny
and
happens.
Also they won the Copa America before the World Cup as well. I believe.
They did.
So they make it 3 in a row, which is what Spain did. They won the 2008 Euros, won the 2010 World Cup, and the 2012 Euros.
They're gonna start comparing them to Spain, and then that'd be bad.
God, and then next thing later, you're just gonna
they will this, in my opinion, bad Argentina team will be compared to one of the best national teams we ever saw, with that team there that I uploaded today.
A team that regularly plays Leandro Paredes.
Yeah, that team.
It's like
the guy that's a starter,
dude, and they will compare. Dude, and they will compare them with defenders like Puyol, Sergio Ramos, midfielders like Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god,
I know. But it'll happen, and we'll be here for it.
United States have won CONCACAF stuff, but they haven't won anything from CONMEBOL. But like, I swear, if Argentina win the Copa America, I am going to like lose my mind, because I will see every prepubescent 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old just start foaming at the mouth saying how Messi is this, Messi is this. Arguably, he has been dog shit this tournament. The dude can't score a one. Like, him and Ronaldo just apparently forgot how to score, because like Messi's one-on-ones have been atrocious. Like, he missed 2 against Canada, and then it's like same thing against Chile. Just and then Ronaldo, we'll get into Ronaldo in the Euros. Like,
oh my god.
I mean, it is Oblak, but like
I have thoughts on Ronaldo.
Dude, like,
thoughts, man.
I'm just like, I cannot wait until both of those guys retire. Like, thank you for all the entertainment you've given me for the last couple of years.
But it's over. Please go away.
My question to you guys, though, is: do you prefer a sensitive man that isn't afraid to cry?
I really don't care. I just thought it was corny.
Sorry.
I'm like Ronaldo. You're supposed to wait until after the penalty shootouts to cry, not before it. But like, it was just like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm sitting there, like, I understand like the passion, and the aggressiveness, but like, for me, like, you know, when you saw Ronaldo prior to it, and then you saw him just start bawling his eyes out right then and there, I'm like, dude, the game's not over.
Yeah, it's like, you gotta keep on playing, bud.
I'm like, bud, it's like, hey there, bud, get some dirt on that one. You got a little bit, 15 more minutes to hash it out there, bud. Like, it was like that, where I was just like, dude. But the only highlight of Copa America, in my opinion, was Colombia versus Brazil. That was the only match that I have seen in this entire tournament where I'm like, that is actually decent or elite teams actually going at it.
Yeah.
My problem is like Brazil has the amount of individual talent they have is crazy. For me, they're a carbon copy of Portugal, for example. Like the individuals they have in the team are incredible, but my God, they're playing some trash football together. There's no team at all.
No.
It's almost like a lot of the European teams right now.
Kind of, right?
Yeah,
I think like, for example, from what I've seen in the Euros that I haven't seen in Copa America is like pure like tactical movements or like understandings. Like in the Copa, it's like Brazil. Yeah, Brazil for example, Brazil tries to out flare everybody, or it's just like they have 10 people and it doesn't make sense. Like though, like Douglas Luiz had maybe like 6 or 7 minutes in that game. Like some of the passes and the movements, they put him in like in the last 5 minutes of the match. And then it's like I was watching him move, and I'm just like, "Oh wow!"
Like, I told you, dude, Dash. I watched his whole season at Aston Villa. The season before that, not as much, but now that they were Champions League contenders, I watched nearly every single game of them. Dude, the brother's magic on the field.
Like, and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, why don't they play this guy more? You know, the Juve fan in me is just kind of like good. He doesn't get injured, but at the same time, like, because like Douglas Luiz has had cameos for Brazil, and it's just like in those cameos, I've already seen what I needed to see.
It's like with Bremer. They don't play him, but we know we see his performances.
Because, like, for example, the second game Brazil played, I forgot who they played. I think it wasn't Costa Rica because they tied. It was Paraguay.
Oh, I don't remember.
So Douglas Luiz chases a guy about 10 to 15 yards down, wins the ball back, turns it around, drops a beautiful pass into Vinny. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, why can't Locatelli be like that?
He won't have to be like that because he'll be on the bench.
No, he'll be in Marseille. Hey.
But
yeah,
Moblano gave, by the way, 95% that he stays.
Oh my God. Could Moblano speak a sentence that doesn't include a percentage?
No.
100%.
Fuck,
no.
It just gets fucking annoying after a while.
It is
use words. Just use words, damn it.
It is contractually obligated like all Lukaku clips.
No, like you're a journalist or writer, you know how words work. Just fucking use them.
And then I think really the main highlight of that tournament is Colombia, Brazil, right? That's where you got to see like the showcase. I think Uruguay with Bielsa are really, really good. You know, speaking of funny thing about Bielsa, you know, before he went to Uruguay, he wanted to coach the United States national team, and they rejected him because he could only speak Spanish.
That would be a very American thing to do.
It is such an American thing to do because you have Greg Bumhalter.
Dude, do you know how many of the current like great coaches are inspired by him?
A lot.
Dude,
Pep,
okay, yeah, you can argue if Pep is honest all the time, but he said a lot like Bielsa is one of the best coaches he coached against. Same with Klopp, and Klopp doesn't hype somebody up if he doesn't believe in him. But dude, an incredible coach, and man.
Gosh, I just think if Bielsa was actually coaching the United States or even Canada's coach, like if any of those guys were doing it, because I don't know why the United States is fixated on Bumhalter, but
we don't know if our coach is any good yet.
I think he's good. Trust me. I think your national team coach is good.
If you of course you have to develop some players, and I don't know where they will come from. I don't know about the state of Canadian football, if they actually like other youngsters in European football. I know about Steve Eustáquio, I believe he plays for Porto, but he's
and then you have Jonathan David.
Yeah,
you got obviously Davies, Alfonso Davies, Tajon Buchanan.
Yeah.
Those are probably the biggest ones. You have Celtic. Johnston plays for Celtic, which is kind of a big team. Yeah,
but I think it goes to show because, like, for example, in German, Dave, you might know this guy very well, but Jürgen Klinsmann, right? He took the trash United States team with 7 MLS players as starters, and he got them out of the groups in Copa America 2016. Like, and then he also tied with Portugal in 2014. And then he also beat Ghana back then, or I believe they tied Ghana in the 2014 World Cup. And then Germany was a 2-0 loss, but then also pushed Belgium to the brink. Like, that was when the golden generation of Belgium came in, where Tim Howard had like 13 saves. It was a World Cup record. So it's like, when it comes to national team coaching, like there's guys that can get things out of it. Where Greg Berhalter's been in the United States for 5 years.
Dude, the problem is Dash. The problem is with him as an American coach and every other American coach that you will get that has never coached in Europe. All these players are playing in Europe, the whole US national team, and you have a coach that doesn't have a single idea of European football.
No.
I don't know if he watched it. He certainly never played it. Like,
you don't need to know European football at that level, though. Not until you get to the World Cup.
No, but it's the style that the players are used to, because all of their players are actually good players and play for great teams. And what he is coaching is like he doesn't know what the strengths and weaknesses of his team.
I would argue though that yes, that obviously helps, but I think when you're playing like anything from South America, it doesn't even matter how skilled or what says. You just got to be able to throw elbows. Are your players going to be willing to throw elbows? I know Canadians, when you piss us off, we're fucking throwing those elbows. Are your American boys going to do that?
Yeah, but now imagine the World Cup in 2 years in the USA, the home World Cup. There you play not only against the South American teams where you need to get your elbows out, you need to play some technical football.
You do, yes. When you get to that level.
For the life of me, I don't understand. Like, it's a great move for Canada getting Jesse March as a coach. For the life of me, I don't understand why the US didn't even try for him. He comes from the RB Leipzig school. He knows the European football style. He plays a high press. He plays position-based football. He likes to push up high with his fullbacks and have control over the midfield, having a physical but also like attractive like playing midfield. And for the life of me, I don't know why they didn't get a coach that has an actual philosophy, and Jesse March has that philosophy. And
Canadians have a better education system.
Honestly, I may or may not agree with that because I don't know, but certainly Canada will do great under Jesse March.
They did well in this. They had a group of Argentina.
They have one goal. They have one goal.
They still got through
2 against, and 2 of those games they were up a man.
And the only that's fair enough, but the only 2 was against Argentina. In my opinion, I think Canada should have drawn that game, but they fucked around and found out too much.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't sleep on your your Canucks there, Davo.
No, I'm not sleeping. It's yet to be seen, right? This is their 5th game. They had 2 friendlies, France and Netherlands, and now the 3 in the Copa America. So I mean, it's young.
Yeah, it's fair, right? But like, ironically, out of all the 3 CONCACAF host countries, the only one that's taking positive steps to 2026 is Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that.
The only one.
And I didn't know this. I just want to bring this up for Jesse Marsh. He was clearly in the Red Bull system because he starts at New York as the manager. Like, I didn't even know this, the history. Yep. Then he goes to RB Leipzig, assistant manager. Salzburg as the manager, and then back to Leipzig as the manager. That's cool how he was groomed through that system. So, clearly
that's why he has a certain style, because he grew up in that system, learned his coaching in that system, and he carried that also over to Leeds. He got relegated with Leeds, but that Leeds team was already trash, unfortunately. But
Dave, pull Berhalter's resume there. Greg Berhalter's.
I don't know how to spell his name.
I would say it's B-U-M. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's B-E-R-H.
Yeah, that's way too German for me to have gotten that right. Even I know he's not German, but it's a very German name.
God, it was just his whole situation. He got put under investigation for some issues behind the scenes with the team. His assistant came in. His assistant played a more attractive football, a better football. And then
was the situation with Pulisic and
it was like
with Gio Reyna with his father agent situation. Something like that.
Yeah, it was that. And then he left the team, and then his assistant came in, and his assistant was playing really damn good footy. And then the United States was right before the World Cup, we're just like, nah, we'll take Greg back. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? But yeah, look at his record. USA manager from Columbus.
It's Hammarby, Sweden, so he saw some European football.
Barely anything. But you look at that resume, and it's just like
He went from a sporting director to manager, so he can't even do he doesn't even know how to do that job, apparently.
How do you do the jump from manager to sporting director back to manager? Like, clearly he is shit at least one of those, and it looks like at both of them.
Yeah. It's the same year. Oh, he did both. He was sporting director manager. He was
Columbus might have been a USL team. I think they're a USL team or something.
No, they're MS.
Columbus Crew. Is it Columbus Crew or is it different?
Let's see. Let's make sure it's the right Columbus.
Because if it's Columbus Crew, then yeah, it's MLS. But I think there's like a. Oh no, it is. It is okay. So
yeah, so that's something.
The best he's done is coach Columbus Crew, and then he went to the U. If I speak, I'll get in trouble. But that guy to me as a coach is an absolute bum, and that rounds out Copa America.
It's not like anybody seeing this.
United States is an absolute joke.
Hopefully Allegri for USA's downfall.
Dude, if Allegri coached
blame everything on Allegri.
Dude, if Allegri coached the United States national team, he would actually know what the hell he's doing.
Dude.
Like that entire roster, all of them start for their teams in Europe. And like, don't even get me started on Mexico, because Mexico keeps gatekeeping their talent. Like, Mexico won't let their young talent go to Europe. Mexico's like, no, you have to pay 60 million if you want to get this guy. And he's 18, he hasn't done anything. No, you still got to pay 60 million. That is why Mexico's like younger generations aren't thriving anymore, because you don't see a Chicharito that's going over there into like a Man United or something like that. You don't see Hector Herrera and those guys moving over, because for some reason Liga MX is just like, yeah, young promising Mexicans, bam, you stay here, you're not moving anywhere. Allegri couldn't handle the ego of the US, and it's 100 times worse than Juve.
Yeah, you're right. Give them. That's
true. Yeah, because the United States is just like, hey, let's get our women's team all the good shit and give the men's team Berhalter.
The women's team has a fucking attitude. I do not like your women's team.
They're entitled. They're not going to win anymore. I'm telling you. Now
it's biting them in the ass, because all their European teams made all the ground up, and
they're catching up. They're not going to win anymore. I'm telling you.
That's their academies and everything.
Hey guys, it's official. Never really said it, but Alicia Lehmann, she's a Juventina.
Is it official? Because I haven't, like, there were like graphics and mock-ups, everything.
Yeah, it's happening. 50,000. That's the thing. She's only worth 1% of her boyfriend.
Yeah. She gets her
pretty crazy. And I looked up Sam Kerr today too, because she's like probably the most expensive female footballer.
That lady from Chelsea, right?
Yep. 475.
Damn.
Not much.
Yeah, but dude, if you compare that to Alicia Lehmann,
yeah, 50. That was just like, okay, slap that. That's like not even an agent's bonus. You know, sure, throw it on.
Well, what is it? We got a big drop from Sal in Discord. So contract deposited for Adic.
Yeah, Adic did go through today.
He's officially a Juve player.
And from what I heard, they're planning with him directly for the first team. We'll see.
Well, we'll see what he does, obviously. But let's move into Euros before we get into the transfer stuff, because we'll go down that rabbit's hole. So round of 16s. I think we've made fun of Italy enough. So I think we can.
Oh, they're out. Let's not beat a dead horse.
Okay. They're definitely a dead horse at this point. Belgium, I think. Belgium choking when it matters is like a commonality at this point. So like,
still calling it a golden generation is a crime. A team that never did something.
The biggest frauds I've ever seen. But
by the way, Dash, still, if Lukaku finished all his goals that he scored from offside, he would still be the leading scorer right now. And we're in the quarterfinals now.
Well, I think it's off Alvaro Morata, the whole offsides shenanigans. But
he scored one at least. Morata scored one.
He did. Do you guys think that you should be concerned about France not being able to really score? That they're struggling with scoring?
I'm not too worried about France. No, I don't know. One game maybe they will all of a sudden click on all cylinders, but it has been a disease for them, like it has been for PSG, and their whole front line is consisting of out of PSG players. Like, what was it? They had one penalty and 2 own goals. They didn't score from the actual open play. They haven't done shit, and they're not converting their chances, and it has already bitten PSG in their asses, and it will the same will happen to France as well.
Listen,
at some point, it's not just not converting your chances. At some point, it is just you're not good enough. It seems to me.
What's worse, though, honestly, an otherwise excellent French team made up of PSG players, or an otherwise embarrassing Italian team made out of Inter players? Because I mean, at this point, I'm still taking France. Right? You got to give them some.
But we said we're not beating a dead horse. Now you're giving me an assist to say that's how much better France is.
I more so just was angling against Italy at this point.
I got them France that has N'Golo Kante in their midfield. This in the quarterfinals.
I mean, this might actually play in Juve's favor if they want to re-sign Rabiot, right? Because like if this France looks lethargic, then Real Madrid is going to kind of look at it and be like,
he's banned for the next. He doesn't even play. He's banned for the next game.
So I just saying. Yeah. But the reason why I'm saying like France not being able to score is because they're going in and they're playing against a monster of a keeper right now. Portugal's goalkeeper. I think that's one of the few times I've ever seen a keeper stop.
I ever saw a goalkeeping performance like that.
3 straight penalties, 2 1-on-1 opportunities.
That was crazy, man.
I mean, is it fair to say that Portugal got the goalkeeper put the team on his back?
Yeah, and Diogo Costa for a couple of years has been like incredible, like how he played for Porto. He's an incredible player, an incredible talent. I believe 22 or 23 years old, and I'm surprised that he hadn't got this big move yet, honestly, because usually
he will now.
The Portuguese clubs are selling, and now, yeah, like you said, like he's performing on the biggest stage, and
there's a couple goalkeepers on the transfer market all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot.
And also, what I don't understand, like Mamadashvili, for example, from Georgia, also an incredible talent. Like, I don't understand why nobody bought them before. Bayern last season refused to buy Mamadashvili for 20 million, and now he will cost around 40.
You always run into the problem kind of like we did. Luckily, Tech has decided that he will move on, right? But we could have just as easily been stuck with 3 goalkeepers. Not to mention like the guys in the youth system and whatnot, right? Like that. I think that's always an issue with goalkeepers is that there's not a lot of space and you got to move people on. And if you're not dealing with an end of contract situation, which these big teams all have big goalkeepers, it just causes problems.
I think the one thing, if I could put a theme on this Euro specifically, it's the Euro of keepers.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah. Turkey's keeper.
Goalkeepers and own goals.
Yeah, but like Turkey's goalkeeper, that last save. Last minute at the death against Austria. Holy shit.
By the way, the crazy thing is he's just like, now comparing them is maybe not the best thing, but Emiliano Martinez from Argentina is, in my opinion, an absolute like mid goalkeeper, and he had that one World Cup save, and now everybody thinks, oh, he's a Golden Glove winner. Yeah, unfortunately, actually won it, but everybody speaks of that guy as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and I think this Turkish goalkeeper, I'm sorry to say it, but he's also very mid. But those saves like around the 90th minute were, incredible.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like you've seen just a pinnacle of keeping in Europe. Like I mean, obviously, none of these goalkeepers need to be worth X amount of dollars, but like for example. There was keepers that are keeping teams in positions they shouldn't be, right? So, like for example, with all due respect to Georgia, but like their keeper carried them to the point where they got to, and then it's just at that point they just couldn't go any further.
And for example, Italy's goalkeeper brought them all the way to the road of 16.
Like if there's no Donnarumma, I think
that great young talent saved the whole nation.
Same thing.
It's crazy how young Donnarumma still is, man.
It's what,
It's
25?
crazy when you think
We're gonna
about
be
it.
saying that until he's like 35, and it's like,
And
oh
then
shit, he's
officially-
old.
Yeah,
It's just like Chiesa. Oh, but Chiesa, he's still a youth product. He'll
He'll
come into his
grow.
own. Yeah, he'll grow. He can still grow, guys.
he can
Do,
still
do you
grow.
want, do you want
27.
Do you want a crazy stat about Lamine Yamal while we are talking about young players right now? In 5 years, he's still eligible for the FIFA's
23.
Golden Boy Award.
Golden boy,
In
yeah.
5 years' time. Crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh my god. Yeah, Chiesa needs to play his position, not in Juve.
Which
But
position is that?
I don't. Which is his position right now? He can't even play winger
Can you tell
anymore.
me? Can you tell me what
I don't-
position
I
Chiesa
don't-
plays?
and that's just kind of the gaffe that I will forever hold against Spalletti, right? All of Italy plays a 3-5-2, but you decide not to. Like 90% of the teams in Italy play a 3-5-2.
You got to play beautiful football. We've been through this, man. It's got to look good.
He brought 10 defenders to only play 2
Oh.
at the back.
Oh yeah, and the football that Italy played was gorgeous, of
It
course.
was. I loved it. Every minute of it.
Jeez. Oh my goodness. Oh, Chiesa. Chiesa. I think Switzerland and England's going to be really good. If we preview that, right? I think England pulled the fish and chips bowl or the fish and crisps bowl because Bellingham was a ridiculous overhead kick to equalize that game.
Yep.
But I think right now it might be a stretch, but I think Xhaka is probably one of the best defensive midfielders in the world, if not the best, because holy shit.
Dude, please, Switzerland, for the love of God. I said this now every single time, and we were so close of it. On every single match, we were on the verge of greatness. We were so close to England losing.
Mm-hmm.
But we always like missed a minute or 1 goal or something. But please, Switzerland, for the love of God, all the 3 or 4 Bologna players they have, please like channel you in a Champions League contestants and finish those guys off, man.
It wouldn't be a stretch to say Switzerland could beat England.
My prediction is that Switzerland will win.
I don't think that's a stretch. Netherlands and Turkey, I gotta say it correctly.
You don't say anything else correctly. Why this one?
Why that one?
Because F you guys, that's what. I would be shocked if the Dutch don't get through this one. Because, like, for example, that Austria game, there's the rain.
It will be home games. I also predicted the Netherlands, but man, it will be a home game for Turkey. They're playing in Berlin, and Berlin is the
Turkish capital of Germany.
Absolutely, it's the Turkish capital outside of Turkey.
Oh my goodness! As long as they get the greatest goal scorer of all time, Manny Demiral, firing again.
Oh my god, dude!
Do we want to talk about Demiral? Can we talk about Demiral? Because like I'm watching that game and I'm chuckling my ass off the entire time. Because like my mom was watching it with my dad and she's like, didn't he play at Juve? I was like, yeah, he does.
Dude, the corny pictures of people all of a sudden uploading him in his jersey again. Oh my god, you laughed at him. And also, yeah, of course we did as well, because he's not an actual like good player,
He's a Turkish Romero.
And my god, he's worse than Romero.
He's in Saudi right now, so that kind of tells you where his skill level is. But
my god,
Saudi league, best league.
Greatest league in the world.
Ronaldo can attest to that.
Oh man, do you think they let him cry? Maybe that's why Ronaldo cried, is because he's not allowed to cry in Saudi Arabia because he has to be a real man. So it was so much pent up emotions. He had to let it out, man.
Yeah, but don't worry, they will bring him back. They still need him for sponsorship.
And I think honestly, like, but with Demiral, I think his ACL injury kind of derailed him really, really bad. Because like he benched De Ligt at the time too. Like when he was with us.
And that's not hard. Everybody's benching De Ligt by now.
Yes, dude, now in hindsight,
a 35-year-old Stefan de Vrij benched him for the Euros.
And that's why he's going to Man United for 50 million, because all of those bums back then were like, Juve's getting their pants pulled down by Bayern. Oh no, guess what? Bayern sold him for a huge loss.
Really, Dal, you like Demiral more than De Ligt? I figured a guy that sculpts his body like you would really appreciate De Ligt's thighs. The quadriceps are just magnificent.
And his broad shoulders.
Oh man! Oh my goodness! Oh, Delit. What a bum.
Yep. And I don't know if we talked about this one. Sorry, I just went back to Sal's message.
You missed that. Sorry.
So Demiral made as a goal celebration for his second goal. Something like, I don't know, the Grey
Looked
Wolf
like the
or
wolf
whatever.
pack.
Yeah, it was something like
this.
this, which is some term or showing that supports a right-wing Turkish party,
It
basically.
could mean that maybe in Turkey. I don't know. I don't know
And
the politics going on with that one.
Yeah, and he's getting investigated for that. I don't want to go too deep into that. I don't know as much as I should, but just this as a broad explanation.
And Dragson as well, even though he's saying intellectuals, which I don't think we've seen you around yet. So welcome in.
Dragozin, like, except of looking good, didn't do like as good defensively as anybody wants to make it look. And because the poor Romanians couldn't defend to save their life, and it was a similar story to Georgia. Like, they came with high energy in the first couple of minutes, pressed you high, and tried to score on you quickly, and it didn't work against the Netherlands, and it was over that quickly.
Here's my thighs. There you go. There you go.
JC, he's been quiet for a while, but he comes in with another beauty.
There's my thighs for you, Car.
Sal saying he's laughing at the sculpting joke, of course. I like the aggression of Demiral, but to take into bed, the blonde Dutch wins hands. Yeah, so hands down with the thunder thighs. So yeah, if he's gonna take a man to bed, it's gonna be De Ligt, absolutely. But if I'm gonna play a man in my central defense, is it Demiral at this point? Is that what we're saying?
Over who? De Ligt?
Yeah.
No, what? Sorry.
No. I think he's asking, who would you rather play, De Ligt or Demiral as a center back?
Yeah, we know who we're taking to bed. Who are we playing?
Man, I don't know.
They can be the same person. You don't have to choose one or the other.
They can play rock, paper, scissors of who fucks off quicker. Let's see.
Jesus, okay. So
right.
we're not getting it.
All right, okay. German Dave came for the jugular.
I don't need no.
It's like fuck them both. All right, moving on.
There's a reason one of them is called the bench, and the other one is celebrated for scoring his first 2 goals in God knows how many years.
JC's been working the long shift. That's why he has been around. Well, it's good that you got some time off tonight. Welcome back. Dal saying before ACL Demiral, but now De Ligt. But they're both going to go fuck themselves. We're not choosing anymore. Chelsea usually goes for players who had a good match. That's probably going back to
That's
Calafiori.
why they are the only ones fighting Arsenal for Calafiori.
I'm going to say that's also Juve for Italians that have good international.
By the way, not even Chelsea is as dumb as Arsenal to just drop 50 million. Chelsea's proposal is also, I believe, 20 or 30 something plus a player, which is basically the package we wanted to give Bolo.
So Salvatore is saying, who has better dribbling and passing? Goes on to say we need backs that can handle the ball. In that case, you want De Ligt. He handled the ball on more than one occasion.
Hey, dude, he's warming the balls on the bench. He's
with his hands. With his hands. We want to clarify that. With his hands. Great handler of the ball.
Oh, man.
Because I think we broke this down with Misak, where I think Gatti gets converted into a right back in Malta's system. I think Gatti's center back days are over.
Maybe. Especially Malta. He's got crazy ideas.
Yeah. I think the last matchup is that we will go before we go into full transfer is Spain and Germany, right? Because Jeff said France's defense is good, right? I think that game, France and Portugal, is going to be a battle of goalkeepers. Whichever goalkeeper makes the poor read first loses that one. But
I think you can absolutely expose France's defense. The difference is that they have the ball so much and that they're using their speed on the wings. They barely saving their defense from needing to defend. But I think if you push them, you can get them. it's similar to Spain. Spain doesn't have a great defense, but of course, if they have 70% ball possession, you're not able to do something against them. And Georgia was so close, like on 3 counters to score on them, which just they didn't finish off properly. So you can score on them. I think it's a similar story with France, but with how much they have the ball. Yeah. They need to have an opponent that has also the ball quite a lot to expose the defenses.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a good matchup. I think, like I said, the one between the two, Germany and Spain, whoever wins that one, I think wins the whole tournament.
Dude, it feels like those times again.
This is like a finals game, Spain, Germany.
It really is.
That should probably be the 2 teams in the final.
Honestly, I didn't think that we will get into this position because before the tournament started, I still thought, hey, maybe the games that we won in the preparation for the Euros, I think, yeah, maybe they were a fluke or it was the new coach syndrome with Nagelsmann. But now with how he actually set up the team great, with Kroos like coming back and filling that midfield role like without any problems is incredible to me. And we're playing way better and much more beautiful football than I thought we can. But so I'm ecstatic that we are in this situation. And dude, if we beat Spain, everything after that is bonus. But if we beat Spain, I don't know. Do we actually have to go to the final? I think yes, right?
Listen, Italy has proven on multiple occasions that if you win against Spain, you're going to win the tournament. But if you're going to lose against Spain, well, you're going the fuck home.
Yep. That's it.
I would assume so. All right.
Was it Italy 2014? 14, I believe. That can attest to that.
Yeah.
Well, that's just this season.
They got 4-0 in the final.
Well, just this season, we lost to Spain in the group, and we weren't going anywhere.
They went straight to their couch.
Yeah, and then Italy beat Spain. Was it quarterfinals last tournament? And like we were worried. I was worried as shit.
No,
we barely won that one. It was 1-0, I think.
Round of 16.
In one of the Euro finals, was it the 2012 then? Sorry, was it that
2012
where Spain slaughtered Italy for?
Well, Italy was limping at that point. Italy had injuries and like they had to play down to 10 men.
They had like Pirlo and Balotelli and those guys. It was that kind of a squad.
Yeah, that one was tough. And then Conte took the blue collar Italy team and beat them in 2016, the Euro 2016 in France. I think it was around 16. Okay.
England or France don't win it. They're pretty much like the opposite sides of the same coin, are they not? Those two countries in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Just I despise England way more.
I used to hate the French way more. Now I hate the English.
I'm disgusted by the French, but don't start me on the English.
Ironically,
it's the German. He'll hate all of Europe. Anything west of him.
Yeah, but also kind of Europe hates Germany, and I don't know why they do that.
They hate you because they ain't you.
Yeah, it's ironically because like people don't hate England because of the players; they just hate England because of the fans.
I love this. If shitty England wins this, I'm moving country, going back to Italy or Kashmir. Those are two completely different places.
They're bringing it home, big dog. They're gonna bring it home.
Hold on, I want to know, Dad. Were you originally from Kashmir? Have you lived there?
I don't know.
He's like, I'm going back to. So he maybe.
Who knows? So I think we've covered the Euro. Go ahead.
No, I just said more info to come on that history there.
Yeah. To be continued. All right, so I think we're good on the Euro stuff. I think we've shenaniganed a little bit more than what we shenaniganed for.
It's Wednesday. We haven't really done this in a while. I think I'm enjoying it this way. To be honest, I don't know. We're having fun. We're having fun.
Yeah, dude. That's the tinfoil structure. No structure.
No structure. It's just everywhere.
It's organized chaos.
Let's get into the main thing, right? Let's talk about Calafiori, because there is obviously we can talk about Thuram, but I think the Calafiori situation is
news is coming out. News is coming out as we're speaking.
I know
the latest from Alfredo Perdula. Juventus is currently Alfredo sauce. Juventus is currently not thinking about the defender because Calafiori is going straight to Arsenal. Bianconeri Club.
It's clear. It's
clear.
Clear.
This is just the absolute latest. The Bianconeri Club wants to finalize the top midfield by getting the missing trequartista that will be placed next to Dougie. And what's Kefi? We're gonna call him Kefi? Kef? We gotta find a name for this kid.
Misak had a name for him. But look, I mean, I'm not going to change my stance on Calafiori. I think 50 million is too much. It is way too much for what he has got on tape. Yep. I think it's too much. I think I agree. It's a price. It's a price gouge, and it wasn't. I didn't think it would have made sense because, like, for example, it's the same thing we did with De Ligt, right? De Ligt had that half season / full season at Ajax, and everyone's guzzing this guy like this most incredible defender, offensive center back, and blah, blah, blah. We purchase him for 85, and then nothing happens. Same thing with Locatelli. Locatelli scored 2 against Turkey. Locatelli's this envisioning incredible midfielder, and then we spent 40 million for him. Sassuolo dragged us by the balls on that one, and then now it's like Mota comes in. He's like, I don't really need this guy. So it's just like I think let's relax. I think Arsenal is doing Juve a solid because worst comes to worst, if Calafiori tanks in England, Juve is going to buy him at a discount later down the road. Because it's just I don't see the reasoning of spending 50 for him. If Bologna is willing to do 20 plus a player, sure, we can do that. But like, for example, as 10 toes down is illustrating in the comments, if you were able to get Kiwar half the price, I'm okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
But I don't know if Arsenal will give him to you for half the price. I know we talk about Kiwior, and I actually like him, but Arsenal will try to make some win in that deal. And he played like lot of minutes, and he had a good Euro showing as well. Just the Polish team didn't perform as good overall, but he was good in their team. And I don't think that he will be as cheap as everybody thinks. But how
about this?
I have a different player in mind, but
I'm going to put a tinfoil hat on for just a second here, right? Because we're talking about Arsenal on both occasions. What if this is just background Gentoli cooking, saying like, yeah, we want cauliflower. We're going to take him. Absolutely, we got the agreement. Blah blah blah. Meanwhile, he's talking to Arsenal over there. It's like, yeah, you guys can have him, but as soon as that happens, we're getting Kiwior, and this is like they might have a price, everything like already set. Who knows?
I don't mind it. If they have that done, I don't mind it. He's a good player. He's a very, very good player.
The only question that I have is, where is he going to play at Arsenal? A left back?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, Arsenal are buying a defender, right? So
Calafiori will 100% be their left back. They will play the same style as Manchester City does when they sub out Kyle Walker, 4 centre backs. On the right, they have Ben White. Sorry, but Calafiori will not start over Gabriel and Saliba. And on the left side, it is Kiwior and Zinchenko. Like, will they sell Zinchenko and completely don't play a fullback anymore? Or would they sell Kiwior and have Zinchenko as a backup, basically, to have a normal fullback and not only centre backs as fullbacks, basically? So they will need to sell one of them at least. And I hope it's Kiwior because we could actually use him.
Weren't we at one point, I want to say a couple years ago, tied with Zinchenko at all? I feel like there was a rumor.
At some point, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It's just a thought. Yep. But this is more breaking news from Alfredo Sauce. Chiesa, Juventus is asking from Roma 20 mil plus bonus.
That goes to show you how much Gentoli and Malta value him. I'm sorry. Like, if there's anyone that's a Chiesa fan, that shows how much Juve value him.
That's not a lot.
No, it's not. It really isn't. Because it's you're getting what you're paying for. A one-dimensional player that only does a certain amount of things. That's what it is. That's honestly what you're getting. So it's just like, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of how it goes at this point. But I lost my train of thought. Damn it.
Oh, that's okay. It doesn't matter. I totally skipped over KF. It's been a while. Shout lads, you say. Jesus, yeah, where you been? You've been busy. Hopefully we didn't miss you, because I hope you're still there, because man, you're an OG and you haven't been around for a while. You're probably selling them specs. I know you're just grinding it out. Spec savers, buddy.
He's on his way to own the company.
And we still haven't got the sponsorship, man.
Yeah, still waiting for the call.
All that talk, but no more.
So I don't know, man. Like, for example, the more and more it keeps rolling, the more and more it looks like they're going to roll him out. I wouldn't be married to him staying. It seems like they're.
What do you want me to say? I'm certainly not married to him in any shape or form. Please go.
Not. I'm not. Go. I mean, it's kind of one of those things, man, where it's just like it's just like you go on the reports, right? And the reports are following that that, like, for example, damn, I keep losing my train of thought. I'm getting distracted here. But with him wanting the salary raise and he wants to match Dusan's wage and et cetera, but like at the same time, dude, you can't compare yourself to Dusan.
No.
Like, Dusan's been hot and cold, but Dusan's performed plethoras better than you.
Look, my problem with the whole situation is, number one, he didn't perform, which tanked his value because of him, because of nobody else. He didn't perform. When he played second striker, like, he still played left winger, so he still played in his preferred position. So he can't moan about that. He had the Euros and said, "Oh, I finally can play in my natural position." He didn't perform there. Spalletti said, "Oh yeah, I'm excited to play him in his natural position." He didn't perform, and now he has a year left on his deal, and he wants that kind of money. For me, we have to sell him. His value will never get back to 40 million. You can be happy if you get 25 to 30. He will never get to those 40 million. He won't get that hot to make that up with having only 1 year left on the deal. By every game day, his value will drop, because from the winter on, he can sign wherever he wants. That's the problem. That's why I think we have to sell now, because otherwise we will lose out on 20 to 25 million. Yes, of course, we will we have to sell him for cheap, and I'm not excited about that, but I'd rather sell him for 20 or 25 than lose him for nothing.
Yeah. Well, and then it kind of goes to show that it's only Roma that has him on the radar. Like, nobody else is sitting there thinking, "Hey, let's do this." So it's either there's two scenarios. There's only two scenarios that get dealt with him. Either he re-signs at the same amount for an additional year, or he gets sold. There's no in the middle.
Yep.
There's no in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Either he re-signs or he's gone. Whether it's 20 million, 25 million, 30 million, whatever. This is how this ends.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Because we're starting to get to the point where we have to take what we can get. Yep. And if that's the case,
that's the problem.
In hindsight, we probably should have sold him last year.
Because
yes, the problem is this last season was the prove it deal, and he wants another prove it deal, but earn double of what he's earning now.
Yeah, it's just
that is the problem. This past season is the season he should have performed to earn that contract, but he didn't perform, and he wants still that contract.
That's one of the things where you have to look at it from a business perspective, right? Like, you got away with it from Dybala, where, like, you know, Dybala went on to his last season, ended up not really doing anything, and then, like, Roma signed him for $3 million a season, and Dybala is Dybala at this point. So it's like, because, like, folks are thinking about it, right? Where it's like, we're looking at it where it's like, well, Chiesa might pop off and he might climb up to 40. Giuntoli, in my opinion, if he's running the hard ball like he's been running the hard ball, like, you know, everyone's saying that he's cooking, right?
Yep.
For Giuntoli, he's not going to keep him past August.
No, he won't. And Muser is saying there's no shot in hell we sell him for 20 million. Come on, guys.
I think, look, I don't want to sell him for just 20 million, but I think
nobody wants that.
It's way more likely to sell him for 20 million than lose him for nothing.
And here's the thing: the longer that we wait, the longer that he goes without getting sniffed.
Absolutely.
And I mean, come on, Roma can't afford his They might be able to afford it if they only paid 20 mil for him, perhaps if they move the money. But let's be honest here: if by August that Chiesa isn't sold, how much is he actually worth at that point? Knowing that his contract is now, like, transfer market's over. Maybe you got a January. He's done, right? He is done. Salvatore saying rather lose him for nothing and gamble on him. That's why it's called a gamble, right? Because nothing's for sure.
But that is the problem. Look, if you are in the financial situation that we are in, and we made, for example, for last season already now 50 million loss on top of the losses that we already made last season. So we have to recuperate the losses this current season to make up money for the last season. And with purchasing Douglas Luiz for 50, we made another 50 million in losses. So right now we have to sell everything that we can and that we basically don't need at the club. And we're not in the position to make that gamble. That is the problem. The gamble, we made that last season in hope that he performs this season, that we can renew his contract without the problem. Because I'm a little bit, of course, of a Chiesa hater. I firmly stand on that, but you have to imagine where his value was last season, I believe, around 30 to 35. And that was with 2 years on the contract. His value right now is 30, but with 1 year of contract, you never get the full value.
Yeah, and
you have to sell the players for cheap, and that is the problem. That is the problem you are in. Then
it's the same thing with Thuram, right? We're all celebrating a 20+ potential bonuses deal for Kefren Thuram, but that's the same logic.
And do we remember how much he was being sold for last year?
Last year, 50 to 60. So
50 to 60, and now we got him for 20. So why wouldn't Chiesa go for 20?
Exactly. So this year, he's turned down Premier League teams and says, "Hey, I want to go to Juve." They don't have leverage on him. So they're like, "Hey, this is the bare minimum that we can sell him for, which is 20 million." And then it's just like, "Okay, great. Boom, there we go." That's how we got Thuram. That's like essentially the reverse logic of Chiesa in a sense, right? Where he's at the end of his year. Their club doesn't want to lose him for free because Kefren is 100% going to sign for Juve. So Kefren's already iterated it. "Hey, I'm going to Juve. I want to go to Juve. I'm not going to the Premier League." So I believe it's Nice, right? So I just don't want to get the clubs mixed up because I'm thinking of another. I was thinking of Lille for a minute. But Nice is like, "Okay, fine. Well, we got to recoup something out of this deal." That's the same situation with Chiesa, where Juve's like, "Okay, we don't know if he's going to resign." Did we lose German Dave?
He's there. I don't know. Let's just keep it healed. There he is.
There we go. So it's just like we don't know what to do with him. He's not signing an extension. Same thing with Thuram. He didn't want to sign an extension. He wanted to move. So we got to cash in on him because, like, for example, we lost money on not cashing in on Dybala. That hurt. That was not good. Whenever you have a player leave, unless they are retiring, if you have a player leave your club for free, that's not good. Yes, the amortization and stuff like that, but you need to recoup some of that cost back. So, like, for example, with the situation with Chiesa, you can't get mad at the club. It's Chiesa.
Yeah, we have to take our rose-tinted glasses off, our bias towards Chiesa, whether we love him or hate it. It doesn't matter. Like Gintoli and his staff have been brought in, as well as the financiers that came before him in the boardroom anyways, that they're here to balance the books, and it's just straight bad business to sell Chiesa or to not sell him. Yeah. The other option obviously is to get him on a club friendly contract, which he is denying.
Yeah.
So because he's denying that, the only option left on the table from a business standpoint is to sell him. Yes, we can keep him and let him run out his contract, but that is bad business, and we cannot
at least 20.
We just can't afford it. We just can't. We have to.
There's one other factor that could potentially save him, but it doesn't look like it's going his way. If Motta specifically says himself, "I want him part of the plans. Let's figure out something here. Let's cave in. Let's do something," right? But Motta doesn't consider him valuable. Motta says, "I'd rather have Sule than Chiesa right now." So if Motta is prioritizing Sule instead of Chiesa, and Chiesa's being stubborn not to sign a bridge gap on his contract, which to me, I don't know who the hell is advising Chiesa, because that guy should lose their job.
Ramadani,
who's
now Sule's agent as well, so we'll see.
So because it's just like this, right? It's if you don't have it, like for example, if you don't want him, if I'm Chiesa's agent, for him to go from Juventus to Roma at 27 years old, with all due respect to Roma, but you're not one of the big three. You're not one of the big three.
No, they're like the 7 and the big 7.
They're the secondary bigs, right? So, like for example, if Chiesa is not moving to a Bayern Munich, to a Manchester City, to a Liverpool, I will throw Liverpool on there.
Dude, but Dash, all these clubs are going for actual youth. Liverpool is looking at Bakayoko, for example. Bayern agreed on a deal for Michael Olise. Yeah. Dude, all these players are going for all these teams are going for actual talents, and they're getting that for relatively cheap, between the 40 and cheap for those clubs, of course, 40 to 45 million at the most.
Because they saw Juve what happens when you just spend money on old people.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're getting those talents who will pay you with 1 year of contract left more than 25 million for Chiesa. That's the problem, and we simply can't run the risk of losing him for free.
Let me answer this. So if his Euro was good as 2021, would it be fair for 40 mil? I would think he would get extended if he had an electric Euro and carried Juve as far.
But I think 40 otherwise, I think
would have, right? Yeah, 40 would have been good for 1 year in his contract if he had like the same quality of a Euro. But like I think he would have got extended at that point.
Look, with all these international tournaments, these are always there to hype up players. It is just for players hype, like get hype on their name, and bigger clubs are finally getting to see like smaller talents or talents in other leagues, and they're on the biggest stage in European football in that case, and that's why their value keep raising. For example, Calafiori, with these Euros, his value or not his value, but
went up like 20 mil.
Went up from 40 to 50. Just with the Euros.
And I think it was sitting at 30 even. Like, it just got hyped up the last month, really.
Yep. And it's because he has long hair, because he has a hairband, he has a chiseled chin, and he had a boner like when he was laying down, and that's bam.
He's 2000s era Italy, so people are just getting nostalgic.
Yeah, it's the whole aura thing. Aura.
He needs a Kappa suit. That'll make him 2000s.
And if Chiesa had performed, he would be one of those hype names. Yes, he's
he was a hype.
He's in his middle 20s, but he has to generate it again. The hype doesn't stay if you perform.
But they were hyping.
Shit.
That's the thing. He had the hype. We even mentioned it a week or two ago.
Yeah, Spalletti was hyping him up too.
But even the commentators, we all mentioned it. Like, everyone is simping on Chiesa right now, and we don't know why. He hasn't proven anything, and then his tournament was dismal, and now the latest we hear is 20 million. So what's that an indication of? That he was overhyped, hyped for no reason.
So, like, for example, you can have the questions for Mota, but the problem is Chiesa dug his own bed last season when offered contract extensions. He said, I want to know who the new coach is, and I want to know what the formation is before I sign anything.
And ironically, he wanted to play in a three-man front line. And now he's got it, and he's not considered for it, which is he dug his own grave.
Well, because he's believing his own hype, asking too much.
Well, and the problem is like, and this is where, again, if I'm his agent, like I did a terrible job covering his image, because if lines like those or if requests like those get leaked, you think Monta's going to look at that and be like, oh, that's great, I want this guy. Monta wants people. He's not going to respect that. Monta's going to look at that and be like, okay,
it's the mentality.
And by the way, in my opinion, Monta doesn't even have a say, or maybe he has a say, but he doesn't have a definitive opinion on this, because
they ask him.
They ask him 100%, but he doesn't have like deciding power. All that power is with Giuntoli, and Giuntoli is a guy that doesn't F around. He doesn't F around. He said, take it or leave it. And
he's a businessman that knows football.
Yeah, and he's not only with Chiesa that way. He has been this way with all the other clubs as well. We got one of the best Premier League midfielders for 28 million, basically, if you consider like what you bought him for and what you sold for. 28 million. Thuram, if he actually bought him last season, the offer that Nice wanted was 45 million. We got him now for 20 plus bonuses. The man gives you a price. He says, take it or leave it. And that's it. And he doesn't, he hardballs people. He doesn't get hardballed.
For once. Maybe we're not used to it as Juve fans.
We're not
We're used to getting our pants pulled down a little.
And that's why he does it with Chiesa, honestly.
Well,
you guys saw how he handled it with Max. Do I agree with how he did it? No, but still, if he did that to Max, you think he's not going to do that to Chiesa if Chiesa doesn't fall in line with the direction he wants to go?
And by the way, he did that with Max and got what he wanted. He was able to free Max to basically completely terminate the contract without a cost. Maybe they found a kind of an agreement after that. What was it, 10 or 14 days after that? There was some talk of having an agreement in place. But dude, the guy is cutthroat.
And this is just the new regime, and they're putting their own people, and that's how this works. This is what a refresh is, essentially, a rebuild. Whether you agree with it or not, like we've all been crying for something fresh. This is what fresh actually looks like in the real world. Is what it is. Usually you're asking. Sorry, I just want to get to this question here for a while. But is Juve a better team with or without Chiesa? I'll just start off quick. It's like asking the same question we had a couple of years ago with Ronaldo. Was Juve a better team with or without him? In many cases, yes. From a pure talent point of view, yes. But from a mentality and a team cohesion view, no. This is Juve. This is a team I would have to say without on that basis.
Statistically, we are. If we look at our wins and loss record with him playing and without him playing, we actually were better with him on the bench.
When Yildiz made the lineup, when he was injured for those couple of weeks where he missed here 2 games, then Yildiz played 1. He missed the next game, Yildiz played another one. And that time we had a great win record, and dude, we scored a record amount of goals in January and February.
So
from December to January, February, or like shit went.
So, and it seems, Muser, I know you're not here all the time this channel, but I mean it's great that you're here today. Thank you. I've stated this many times. Chiesa is the only jersey I ever bought with his name on it. Like I bought the hype. I was into it. This season made me open my eyes. Like I understand why there's the hype with Chiesa.
I told you.
We all want. This is why there's. And we're mentioning him now again. Calafiori. Like this is why there's hype with Calafiori. We're just so desperate for that next, like, let's say, ADP. We're looking for that next ADP or Baggio or Shiro, whoever your favorite. You know, like France has Mbappe, right? Portugal got Ronaldo. Argentina got Messi. Who's our Italian of this era? We don't have one, and we just want one so bad. We don't have it.
By the way, I think that is great for the culture. If you have those Italians, for example, for the German clubs, there's nothing better than having German talents in your German team, because it goes for the chemistry. German players can communicate in German with each other in press conferences when they meet with fans and everything. It's all, of course, all the time. It's better when you have players that are actually like grew up in your country. So with Italy, it's the same. I wouldn't mind Juventus having great Italian talents, but the problem is if you go to Bologna's doors and they tell you, hey, all right, 40 million for Calafiori, and that players will do it for 25, and go from that one to 50 million straight up. Then sorry, but it's not possible to do that deal. It is what happened, dude. They wanted for Sassuolo wanted 40 million for Fratesi because it was Juventus.
Mm-hmm.
And then they loaned him out with obligation to Inter for 25 million. And now that's why they're in Serie B now, because of their bad business. But those are the demands that they make to Juventus. And I rather have a management right now with Giuntoli that is cutthroat, that has a certain price, and they say, all right, we can negotiate a little bit, but nobody will pull our pants down. And I like this mentality more than just going for the next great Italian talent and pay 50 million for it.
Yeah,
and look, instead of paying that money to Sassuolo, now we bought Thuram and Douglas Luiz for a combined 48 million, and Sassuolo wanted 40 for Fratesi. We did a whole midfield rebuild with two players with about the same money.
And then we'll get our massive signing. It looks like maybe for 50 mil. We'll see what happens there with Coop, but we may in this one month or so completely rebrand our midfield, which we know is what you need. Is what wins games.
I think the Coop deal is where we get to see if Giuntoli really earns his money.
Yeah, like if it comes in at like 35 plus bonus or something like
25,
that.
25.
Oh my God,
with like 2 years alone. If we did like the Locatelli where we don't pay anything for 2 years.
That would be insane. Like everything like under 35 or under 40 million. If Giuntoli does that, oh my God. We finally shithouse the shithouses there because Atalanta is horrible to deal with. Bologna is horrible to deal with. Sassuolo is horrible to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, if we get to pull down Atalanta's pants, I'm here for it.
Because and this isn't me selling him short, right? But like for example, with Douglas Luiz, right? We kind of got, I don't want to say lucky, but we kind of got in a pretty good situation, right? Where we had two players that Aston Villa could utilize to get for cheap and to replace the gap that was left, while also being able to get rid of Douglas Luiz and get the capital gains that they needed, right?
Both parties were in a situation where they can benefit. And
I think that's where Juve had a nose above like Arsenal, Man City, and all those other clubs, because like, for example, Aston Villa needed to replace it. They need replacements for it, but they didn't want to spend a shit ton of money because it's like, okay, great, you got a capital gain of 50 only to spend 50 again, right? Whereas where you have Berenachea, that is a possible replacement plus an addition of Sam Illing where it costed them 22 million. That to me is like, that is great timing for Juve and Villa at that point. And then same thing with Thuram, where it's like, okay, great, we kind of got a huge boost that Thuram wanted to come to Juve, which kind of did Giuntoli a solid. Whereas, like, for example, I think with Atalanta, I think this is where you get to see Giuntoli's negotiation skills at its fullest, right? Because, like, for example, he didn't make Calafiori happen, right? As much as they wanted Calafiori, it didn't happen. And you can say it's a good thing that he didn't cave into the 50, but he wasn't able to find a way to make it for 25 or 20 million plus a player or something like that. So for me, where Giuntoli really earns that cash is how he deals with Atalanta, because if he's able to work
Italian teams
in general, right? Because the other player, which I'm actually ecstatic if there's weight to these, because it's only Tuttosport that's saying it, but like, for example, as a left back, Juve have actually stepped up their interest in Mitai, who is the Albanian left back from the Euros. He is only 12 million by Lokomotiv Moscow. So if you were to get him for 12, I think that's a steal. Whether or not you keep him on the roster and loan him out, that's a totally different story. But Mitai to me is a really, really great. He's only 20 years old and is a really great left back from what I've seen in the Euros. So I think Giuntoli is great at acquiring talent outside of Italy, but I think now we need to see how he does it with Atalanta.
Let me also go for a second into this message, because I agree that Yildiz could have been a wild card and he wasn't found out in those games that he played, but I rather take a bet on him because he's 19 years old and he extended until 2028 or 29. I rather take the bet on him. Because he is 19, he has room to grow. Chiesa is 26 or 27 by now. So I don't know what did we see a ceiling already? And if it was a ceiling, sorry, but his ceiling is not, like, he's a good player, but he's not a great player.
Here's my thing with it is that if Chiesa got found out and Yildiz didn't, if Chiesa wants to be world class and get paid 8.5+ million a season, he needs to be unfound out. That's not an excuse. Now, if Yildiz a year or two down the road gets found out and he's not able to develop past that point and he's still stuck at being a 19-year-old version of himself, he will also need to move on at that point.
Yeah. The other thing too, the other big thing is you have control of Yildiz's contract for 5 years right now.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'd rather take that bet on Yildiz, because I know he's here for the long term and on a cheap contract, man.
Yeah, 5 years, 1 million a season.
That's huge. I mean, he might go to the table again, but for now, we got control.
Exactly, but you have control over it, right? So it's just like, especially the first 2 or 3 years, you have control. The only time that you really need to start getting into the negotiation table is about year 4. For sure, you need to get there at year 4, halfway through year 3, depending on his performances. So $1 million a season, you have complete control over Yildiz's contract with that new renewal that he signed. So it's for him, it's the proper situation versus then Chiesa, because you're more than likely going to give him a raise, and it'll make sense to give him a raise.
Mm-hmm. Let him earn the raise.
Exactly. That's what Chiesa should have done. That's
technically what we're doing. It's like, no, you didn't earn the raise, and now he's like, oh, I think I did. Like, well, here's my 4 goals.
Yeah,
or Cellini got a raise. He should have got a raise.
Hey, boy, don't steal my stats from me.
Yeah, no, it's just we just out electorals again.
And still, we have to see, of course, what Yildiz's ceiling is. But in the few games that he started over Chiesa, he has shown us like great promise. But again, it was, of course, a couple of games, and then when Chiesa returned to the starting lineup, I believe for the last third of the season, Chiesa started constantly, and Yildiz was sent back to the bench. But we are now in the position of being like Yildiz, and I don't know if you see it that way as well, but Yildiz is the starter, in my opinion, on the left side. Mm-hmm. There's currently nobody that starts in front of him. So as of right now, Yildiz is the starter, so he has to show. Now he has to show it as well, of course. And then he has, of course, a little bit more leeway because he's 19, and it will be his first full season as a starter. But in his first or second year, he has to show it, of course, and then we will get into the hopefully not, but then we're in a similar situation again, like we are within Chiesa. But I hope it doesn't come to that, because I think you all agree with as well. And it was not only eye test, like the stats backed it up with. He had more successful dribbles than Chiesa. His passes were more decisive. Like how he involved Dusan. Nobody involved Dusan as good as he did, in my opinion. Yeah, you can argue Dybala in the half season that he played with him, but Yildiz and Dusan had great chemistry. And by the way, if Yildiz starts clicking, it gets Dusan more goals and assists as well, which either turns him world class finally, or at least raises his value. So you're killing 2 flies with one. I don't know. Yeah, is it a clap?
Two birds, one stone. So I think this is in regards to Mitai. Mitai is not gonna, like, for example, when Mitai comes in, if he comes in, I don't think he's going to be a starter, right? I doubt it. It's going to be, I think Cambiasso and maybe Giallo are probably going to be your main starters on the left and the right. Maybe Giallo moves into a center back role. I'm not too sure how that's going to get sorted out, but no, Mitai would come in and I think he would start off at the bench, but like, I think he has great potential, right? For me, my personal bias, I would like him to be purchased just so we have control over him. Because, for example, because Mitai is an offensive / possession based left back. He is, again, Cambiasso 2 years earlier. Yeah. That's honestly what Mitai is. He's what Cambiasso was 2 seasons ago prior. So for me, I think if you're able to control that contract, whether you send him on loan somewhere else and let him get more minutes, or if he's somehow able to fit, because again, I really do think that he is like, I think he's a Motta-esque player, because again, I thought he did well in the Euros. That's subjective. But I do think if you're able to get him for 12 million, control his contract, you might be able to have a better better system as far as rotation of what you have, because you are losing DeCilio, as you know, as much people are tragically mortified of him, but you're losing DeCilio, you're going to lose Kostic as well. So I don't see an issue with Mitai being brought in as well for 12 million with his potential. I think it's a steal.
There's another name as well. Where is it? Sorry. Man, a lot of news came out since we went live today already. Fuck, why can't I think of his name now?
No, they're leaving. I mean, it's not really a loss.
Why you are looking for also quickly on Giallo? I think he's like his versatility is great. With him being able to play with both feet, being good defensively, he's fucking huge, that guy. So he's devastating, like after corners and free kicks from set pieces. He's great. His defending is good. He can push the ball forward. And I don't think that it's a bad pairing at all with Bremer, honestly. Like, I would be down to try it and to see what he can do. Like, I'm not opposed to it. But what was my whole idea, and don't steal this, don't tell anybody that you had this from me, but there's a deal that I would love to hijack more than anything else. He's also Italian. He's a left-footed center back. He plays in the same city as Juventus. And it's Alessandro Buongiorno. No, honestly.
I'm not laughing at that. It's just funny.
Honestly, he has the same strength as Calafiori. He's cheaper. He's 3 years older. He's a bit more refined. He's used to playing a 3-back line and a 4-man back line. He can push the ball forward. He can sit. Dude, please, hijack Napoli, man.
Could we? That would be hilarious. We don't even want to sell to us.
But
not preferably, no. But if they had,
not after the Bremer situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say not after Bremer.
Dude, Torino never thought that it would work out with Bremer. My God,
they're sitting there. They're like, "Yeah, suckers, we got him for 40."
Dude, but honestly, Buongiorno, man, he would fit perfectly. Honestly, left-footed next to Bremer. That would be an incredible duo, man. But yeah, it's just a fever dream that I have a transfer that I made up in mind, and yeah, 100%. Like Torino will say 60 million for you.
You know what's crazy? It's just like nobody in Italy wants to sell to Juve because Genoa is saying you want Retegui, you have to pay 30 million for Retegui.
I mean, you can do so much better. And there was another name that came out alongside. So much news came in today, and it was man. I was at work. I finally found the other name as soon as Dave started talking. I was like, it's right there. But
go for it.
Yeah, no, Retegui for 30 is also
no, goodbye. No.
Absolutely
not even for 20, man. Not even for 20.
No, he's not that good.
He's not that good.
He is okay. It's just he's as good as like Scamacca and
man. He was a hype. He was a hype name that played good in Argentina. Like Argentina that has 3, maybe 4 good teams.
Stay out of South America.
Can we? No, it's not even that. Can we just say it at this point? IFTV overblows these players so goddamn hard that like I feel like clubs watch them and the club's like, oh shit, maybe we should sell this guy for this much because of his aura.
Do you mean the guys that said Allegri ruined Chiesa, the guys that said Italy is winning the Euros, the guys that then all of a sudden tracked back on Allegri and said, oh, guess what? It was not all his fault all over the time. Oh, those fucking idiots, man. We have all the receipts still. Hey, we have it all.
It's funny because they said
the receipts again.
No, we don't even have to whip them out. But like, it's funny because like, I remember them specifically. I remember them making podcasts berating De Laurentiis because De Laurentiis didn't want to let Spalletti out of his contract to go coach the Italian national team. They're like, "Oh man, dude, these guys need to do this. They need to do it for the safety of Calcio. They need to bring back." Dave,
and
now they're killing them.
Dave, please go down in history. Let's laugh at all those thumbnails. Let's go.
Italy are going to win the Euros again. I mean, this did just come out. That's kind of cool that they got ADP.
Dude, they're hyping up. Look how they're hyping up a team that didn't even has European football after winning the fucking league. Look how they are hyping them up.
Yeah, because they're numbers, man. They got to keep the algorithm going, right?
It's just like, for example,
they don't even know what tactics they will play. They don't know what players will stay. They don't know who they will buy.
Yeah, you don't even know how this Napoli side is going to line up. Osimhen, Crava, are they still going to be there? But it's just like, are they champs?
Oh my god!
Like,
those guys!
Like, it's insane. Like, I look at some of the stuff and it's like part of me sits there and thinks like, dude, does Serie A just like all the clubs look at this and be like, well, shit, this makes sense. Let me go off of this logic.
Yep. And Salvatore, no, you're you're not the only one that thought it. Like they are 100. They're not only weird. They're crazy, man. They're crazy. Those dudes.
Same thing right here.
Can Italy repeat?
This guy definitely moisturizes way too much. The guy on the right.
But
he shouldn't glimmer. Like that's just weird.
Have Italy found their striker? And what has the guy done?
No, they have not. Is the answer?
Yeah, Redigui hasn't done anything.
Oh, here we go. This is where
it is.
Yeah, so it's just we saw those, right? Is Allegri ruining Chiesa? Is Allegri the other one has what is it? Has Allegri ruined Juventus? Or like Allegri is ruining Juventus? That was like
they changed it. Chiesa versus Allegri, one must leave.
I think it if you scroll.
Oh, no, here we go.
No,
there's this one. Yeah.
This is how Allegri ruined Juventus.
Where they talked about him ruining the talents that all of a sudden 30 to 40 million worth.
Yeah, the young players. It's when you, I don't know. You can't, because like when you do stuff, part of me sits there and thinks that Serie A is looking at this, or players or teams are watching all that junk, and you're just kind of like, why are we hyping things up? Like I remember they were hyping up Spalletti when he won the title as the most amazing coach ever. That Napoli team is the most amazing Napoli team ever, but they couldn't beat Milan in the Champions League.
Oh, sad.
Anyways, I mean, we have to just take those receipts out every couple of weeks just to show the hype that ensues over at that channel. I mean, whatever, they do their thing, but it's just, I guess it's just be aware.
Finally, one more similar-minded person to us. I like Allegri. I know it's boring, and second stint was ugly, but he should manage Italy 100%.
And Dave will confirm his biases all days on that one.
Oh, I stand by what I say, man. I stand by my thoughts.
Man,
I just thought it was ironic because they were just making this big deal about Spalletti being released to coach Italy, and then now they've completely turned on him.
That's it. It's just type. It's just type.
It's just the irony of this whole situation is like not one person can sit there and say like, oh, the players suck. Like it's always got to be the manager, and the manager. It's like
low hanging fruit.
Can you not say that your crop of players are terrible? And I've said this hundreds of times. Pragmatic wins international competitions.
Because they do it for the algorithm. That's what you have to understand. Like here we do it because we want to, because we like it. It's not because it's our job. It's just like the cool thing we do on the side. When it becomes your job, you will bend a knee to the algorithm just to get the viewership, just to at least maintain. Like heaven forbid it dips. You want it to grow, but I mean, if you're not getting the same numbers month after month, and you don't know how your paycheck's going to look, you'll do some stupid shit. And you see it. Just look at some of the more famous YouTube channels out there. A lot of people go crazy. Whatever. It is what it is.
Yep.
So
look, and one last thing again on Spalletti. The man literally went into a tournament, didn't know what his best lineup is, didn't know what his best formation is, and played a guessing game. It's crazy, man.
I thought we weren't beating that dead horse an hour.
Yeah, but IFTV let us do it that way.
Yeah, but it was just like I still saw it. Like for example, because there was three candidates, Pioli, Sarri, and Allegri, that could potentially switch over him. And everyone's like, no, man, those guys are what? I'm like, dude, Spalletti doesn't know what to do if his main formation doesn't work. At least those three other coaches knew how to adapt and adjust. Like what those three coaches have done, maybe Pioli being the weakest of the three, have done great things. Sarri went to Chelsea, took Chelsea, switched his 4-3-3 to a 3-4-3, won a Europa League with that Chelsea roster. And then again, came to us right after, limped to a Scudetto, but still won it against Conte's Inter, which that Inter was unforgiving, as well as that surging Atalanta team. And then you look at Pioli as well. Pioli took a very young Milan team, gave them something to go for, and they won the Scudetto. Yes, Inter choked, but they still went in and won it. Where it's like, where I look at Spalletti, and it's like Spalletti, his Scudetto was won by us getting ducked 15 points when we were chasing Napoli.
Yep.
So Chiellini here saying, for the present, Spalletti is the best manager for the next 2 years. For the next 3 to 5, it is necessary to create more second teams to get more experience to the first team football. So, I mean, he's giving the political answer, because I also saw rumors today that he's not looking to stay on with the national team. So it is what it is. There's rifts. This is what we understand. Like, there's just rifts that nobody... When Gravina doesn't know what he wants. He just wants to get reelected on November 4th. That's all he cares about. And he's going to do whatever he needs to do it. If that's keeping Spalletti in because the hype's still on him, then that's what he's going to do. But if he loses guys like Chiellini and who knows, Buffon or any of those guys, I think this is politics. It's all any of this crap is, right?
The only way that the Italian FA or Fiji gets any of their shit back together is like Gravina has to leave and you have to bring in a new president, new policies, new things, right? Where, like, for example, the new Serie A president comes in and says, okay, hey, you have to field 1 youth product, or you have to roster 3 under 18-year-old, arbitrary stuff, right? Where it's like you have to feature this and that, right? Like, for example, some clubs you have to have X amount of this nationality on the field, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. So it's like, the only way, because, like, for example, I saw the post where Italy has like these, under 19s, under 17s, under this and yada, 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 these tournament runs. Unfortunately, those don't really mean shit, because, like, for example, Mexico had under 20 World Cup winners. Guess what that surmounted to? Absolutely nothing. So the thing with that is like, if you have a nice young core or a nice group of youngsters, you either need to find a way to integrate them into your league or your federation, or they get shipped out and they go somewhere else where they can play.
Yep.
Because you can have a stellar group of under 19s, but by the time they get into first team plays, that's it. They've already plateaued. That's one of those things where you can't depend on the youths. Like, really, like, for example, the only team that you can sit there and say have cream of the crop young players is Spain. Spain knows how to integrate young players more so into things, where it's just like, you don't see that with France. Yeah, you might see with Tchouaméni, maybe Camavinga, but like, it's rare. Like, even, like, for example, other national teams as well. Like, it's very difficult to rely on 16, 17 or 18-year-olds and stuff like that unless they're really, really good. But, like, Italy, for me, they don't know what they're doing. They might have the greatest under 16. They might have the greatest under 18, under 19. But if you don't know how to get them into first team footy, or if you know where to move them, they're going to peter out. And the other thing you have to take into account too is, do their bodies grow properly? Do they mature the same way? It's one of those things where, because I saw IFTV hyping that up and saying, well, we have hope because we have this and this. No, you don't. The only time that Italy would genuinely have hope is when Gravina is gone and you have a brand new legislature, new everything, that's able to readjust and reconfirm things.
The problem is, Dash, though, that Gravina right now is a puppet of all the club CEOs. And all the club CEOs are united against Juventus, of course. But that's not the most important. The thing is, if you get a new FIGC president, there's still he will be, or he or she will still be puppeteered by all the club CEOs. It's all just a political game. Like, as long as the club CEOs and the clubs itself don't change their mindset, nothing will come out of it. And also, it's not only purely down to the game, it's also down to the Italian state not doing the stadium renovations, the team not having good stadiums and training facilities. Like, there needs to be so much work done on the infrastructure and on the clubs itself, on stadiums, etc., to build those talents up, to build those clubs up again, to have hype talents, or not only hype talents, to have actual productive talents.
But look, like this article I just put up. So the FIGC, however you want to say it, Italy Soccer Association, fined for dominating youth tournaments. Quickly here, it says Italy's antitrust authority has fined the National Soccer Association, the FIGC, 4.2 million euros for what it said on Monday was an abuse of the association's dominant position in the management of youth competitions. Basically, they're meddling at the youth level, like under 17s and stuff. So that is one article. We're just talking about mentality. We talk about this, like, I mean, I'm of Italian descent. There's a lot of Italians here, but I think it's quite clear to a lot of us how insane it is. So I don't know if you guys heard about this as well. Marchisio hits back angrily at insult from Juventus Ultras. So there was a post that we saw this weekend. They were holding up a banner that was in front of his restaurant. So it was from the Drugi, which is one of the Ultra groups.
Who else?
It's usually the Drugi. So where's the actual?
I think he missed it. The initial.
I missed it. It's at the top. Sorry.
Scroll back up where it says as a player you are a lackey of the club, as an unemployed pundit you are a traitor, and in the life of Marchisio you are a piece of shite.
Yes, there it is. So basically,
I didn't even know what he did.
There was some story. No, I don't have it 100% like in mind what happened exactly, but there was something that he didn't.
He said it's what he said
that he didn't defend Juventus or whatever when he was on set with other football.
No, he was talking. He was just talking
or whatever. And they accused him of not being a true Juventino or not true to the city of Juventus or something like that. He said something like, I believe, worldwide there are more Juventinos, but Torino, the city itself, more fans are. Torino has more fans than Juventus in the city of Torino, but Juventus is of course bigger worldwide. He
said that's all he said.
Something like that. And the fans went to his co-owned restaurant basically and made a mockery of themselves.
But that's corny because everybody knows that. Everybody knows Juve have got fans across the entire country, and it's like, you. I don't know. That to me is just stupid that they see. I've always had this argument, and I will always maintain it. I always thought the Ultras were corny. Even for example, regardless of how they flip flopped on positioning, but there was always people. The Ultras are important. You need the Ultras and blah blah. No. You just need a good fan base. These guys are the biggest crybabies ever.
Absolutely, and I was also 100% on the side of banning the Ultras if they hold. Look, it's all over Italy, man. The Ultras hold the clubs hostage, and Juventus wanted to free themselves or being held hostage by the Ultras, which was why they had those sanctions on the Ultras and didn't allow flags and banners and everything else in the stadium. So I completely understand it from the perspective of the club, and now you have the fans making a mockery out of their legends. For me, Marchisio is a goddamn legend, man.
That's stupid. It's like why would you?
And absolutely, he is an OG. The only problem I have with him is why does he shave? Also, man, like that.
He's handsome. It's fine. But yeah, it's just absolutely silly.
It's like, for me, the Ultras to me is one of the biggest, corniest pieces ever. But there was other content creators that were whining about we need them in the stands because the stadium is so quiet. You can hear a pin drop. You want to know why the stadium is so quiet? Is because the product sucks. That's the reason why the stadium's not exciting. It's not because of the Ultras. It's because for the last 4.5 years, the product that Mr. Paratici was giving us was dog shit. It wasn't because of the Ultras. I'm sorry, but if you looked at the Lazio Ultras, they're a bunch of goobers and a bunch of losers. Same thing's going for the Roma Ultras. Ultras aren't really good things. They're obnoxious people that'll probably get you fined.
And they think of themselves big as they are, actually.
Yeah. They're a bunch of guys that go and drink espresso every weekend thinking that they can control the fate of the world, but they're waiting for their parents to give them money for espresso. That's what the Ultras are generally constituted as.
Hey, mom, can you throw me a couple euro? I'm going for coffee. Can I get a couple coins?
Mom, I need money for my season tickets.
Hooliganism. It's corny, and Juve have gone into that more corporate approach where they're like, hey, let's make this a little bit more oriented, more family friendly, and the thing is what I find ironic is people behind a camera and a monitor criticizing it, saying that, hey, we need that blah 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 blah, and it's just dude, come on, man. The Ultras got way out of hand recently.
What's our job then to do?
No, but the problem is it's not only Juventus. Like, look at it's happening with the other clubs as well, dude. For example, Inter when they signed Cuadrado. Yes, their ultras hated the deal, but for Inter, like, okay, he was on the older side and he injured himself, which is maybe because of that it's not as a good example. But they needed a right wing back and they got Cuadrado and the ultras, and I hate that corniness because he is a Juventino or because he played for Juventus. They didn't want him, and evidently he was more of an Inter fan as he was a Juventus fan. So hey, there you have it.
Well, it's the same thing with De Gregorio.
Yeah.
Like, you remember when we were initially linked to him and people were losing their goddamn minds over him, and we're like, he's a good goalie. What the hell is wrong with him?
He's the best goalkeeper in Italy right now by the stats and everything. And we got him for 18 million. Oh, sorry, on loan with obligation for 18 million. Well, the best Italian goalkeeper.
And then remember where everyone was siding with them, where they're like, "Oh, hey, we need these, like, right? We need them for the atmosphere." And then the second the Ultras said, "Oh, we're protesting because Allegri's with Allegri," and then the Ultras,
we're staying
everyone's like, "Oh, wait, screw the Ultras, we hate them." Like, I don't know. Like, for me, it's just I think it's always been corny. It's stupid. Like, the fact that like these guys went to Marquisio's restaurant to do that is. You have way too much time on your hands.
Dude, I wanted to say, dude, don't you have like work or something else to worry about your whole day instead of doing that?
No, they got nothing. Dude, they just sit at the coffee shop yelling at shit.
No, because you have to imagine restaurants are open like not until night because Dash knows the restaurant business. It's if it's a proper restaurant, restaurants have open until like in Europe, 8 p.m. maybe or 9 p.m. at the most, and then they clean up, close shop, and open it the next day.
This is their shitty little like bar cafe thing that's open all day.
And where the hell do you have the time to take that out of your?
They're unemployed. They gotta be unemployed. They're just saying, I don't know.
See, I think FTW is one of the good ultras because, like, there is, like, don't get me wrong, right? There is like some good ultra groups that are like, because, like, for example, there is like a small little grassroots club here that plays in the area that I live in, and I've gone and I've seen their ultras. Like, their ultras are great. Like, so the ultras here, like, you don't have to worry about shenanigans and stuff like that. It's like you have some great ultras, but like for right now, especially like the ones that were extorting Agnelli for tickets, where they're like, oh, hey, we'll yell racial slurs, or hey, we'll hurt people, or stuff like that, where you start getting to that point for discounted ticket prices. It's like, really at that point. But let's expand on De Gregorio. So De Gregorio's got one of the better save percentages, also very good with playing with the ball at his feet.
And he played for a shit team. Keep that in mind.
He did play for Monza. So with the amount of shots he faced, his save percentage is really damn good. The other thing is he was a big Inter fan and said that Buffon isn't the greatest goalkeeper of all time. So a bunch of Juve ultras lost.
Handanovic was better than Buffon.
Yeah, so he said Handanovic is better than Buffon. So a bunch of like Juventini lost their mind. And yeah, so like for example, with the whole like setting flares and having banners and singing, that's fun. Yeah, I don't have an issue.
That's
with
fun,
that.
Dude. We love that.
We love that.
Yeah, talk to us more. Yeah, because he was saying here he was an ultra. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, like
I'm excited about all the stories. Look, let me take some like or let me do an example like from my Berlin club. We have also ultras which are like hardcore ultras, but hardcore in the sense of supporting the club. Like 90 minutes they are singing, they hit their drums and everything. They just don't stop for the 90 minutes of the game. They sing before the game, they sing after the game. They bring their banners, but they're not holding the club hostage. They're not insulting the club, even though the club, Hertha Berlin's the club I'm talking about. We went into second division a year ago, and our own ultras of the club didn't want us to, because we were owned by 777 or whatever they are called, that were co-owning or owning Everton as well. So we had some money on our hand, but the ultras said no, we want that damn investor out. We rather go with our youth talent, and God knows if we ever get back to the first division, but we rather go our own way. So the investors are now selling their parts, for example, and they think about the love to the club, about the love to the other fans, and how close the club is to the fans. So they have the overall better of the city and of the club and of the fans in their mind, and that is how the ultra groups should be, in my opinion. Not like doing demonstrations, boycotting the club, not going to games, stop to support, stop singing at the stadium, and whatever.
I mean, there might be a case for it if like the management was corrupt, like legitimately corrupt, and they want to like speak out for the fans. I think there is a use case for having a vocal group like that politically, let's say. But I mean, from the day-to-day nonsense, yeah, not when you're going after Marquisio and his not even sole business, but like his shared partnership of a business too, right? Like there's other people, the other businesses in that area that are affected by these kinds of things, right? And it's just gang nonsense.
You know,
and I was also like part. Look, I wasn't actually a part of the ultras here in Berlin, but I smuggled flares and everything to games as well. So I love that part as well. But yeah, they try to take it to a whole nother level. The problem is that the ultras in Italy think they're speaking for all of the fans, but what they do is speaking for their own group. And then you have multiple ultra group, and every single ultra group, or most of them, think that they speak for the other groups, which isn't the case. And then you have all those conflicted messages and everything.
Well, yeah, and then it's like, again, you look at, like, for example, Juve's ultras, where it's almost like a niche clique, where like you're a select few in this, where it's their job to welcome more people into the fandom, to bring more people around, to bring more people into it, where it's like you need that. But I kind of like, for example, I'd love to see Malmo's ultra, because he's a Malmo FF ultra. That would be fun,
dude.
Like,
I love Sweden and Swedish clubs as
Scandinavian
well. I went a couple of times to games in Sweden.
Because I would assume, because I don't know if you still live in Scandinavia, but I would assume Scandinavia is a fun place to go to. Like,
I feel like there's just like they're more civilized in those countries, they're always like rated top countries to live in, and all. They have all that like social democracy where everyone gets healthcare and education. I just think that they're just a little more sorted out than us.
Yeah, I mean, like, what you've got toddlers making monkey noises at Keane or Lukaku, like in Italy, like that's just a mess.
Okay, that's a sad point. Let's talk about another funny, sad point, I guess.
Do we want to end on a funny? We've got
we're ending on a funny here.
Yeah.
And it's your boy, Christian Pulisic.
Oh, I thought you were going to have one there for us.
I raged on this at the beginning of the show, so we'll end on this.
Sure. Let's scroll that back. So here he is. Here's Pulisic. He's telling the refs, why don't you go over there with Uruguay? Why don't you go celebrate with them? Basically making fun of how bad the refereeing was, and it's basically one-sided towards Uruguay. So he went over afterwards to shake the ref's hand, and the ref refused.
Because the ref was petty. Because guess what? Kumbol just released a statement saying that goal was actually offside. They incorrectly judged that goal. You want to know what this Copa America is? It's the apology tour for Conebol. That's honestly what this is. Every single game. Oh, my bad. Oh, that referee shouldn't have been there. Oh, that's not good. Oh, we made a mistake here. We made a mistake. We did this.
That's the weekly living in the Premier League, man.
Yeah, if you guys think English referees are bad, try South American.
Hey, the Germany game will be refereed by Anthony Taylor, man. We are fucked. We're absolutely fucked.
I think Spain is fucked.
No, they have Rodri, man. Rodri is a Manchester City darling.
Oh, speaking of which, the other name we were linked with quickly. Sorry, it is the player is owned by Man City. That is fullback Yan Couto.
Years old.
Couto, yeah.
22.
Yep.
22. Yeah.
He is one of those incredible FIFA talents who has actually done good at Girona, but he gives you 0 defensively, and I don't think that we will get a guy that cares 0 about defense.
I was going to say, Motto wants his wingers to play defense.
Like for example, if you think Wea is an offensive wingback that barely defends or barely tracks backwards, then if you get young Koto, he will stay at the wingman. He will play help defender like Chiesa, and he is,
That's why he's at Manchester.
He should be in the actual. No, he was loaned to Girona because Manchester City themselves didn't want to play him any minutes.
Guys, sorry, I just saw this. This is our new female midfielder.
Oh, I know what you saw there.
Hey man, Douglas Luiz will get jealous. Stop. Oh my God, Juve are about to cash in so goddamn hard on her for advertising. Could you imagine the amount of TikToking and shenanigans?
Dude, it's great for the club. It's great for the club.
Alicia,
it's great.
Juve's gonna make a shit ton of money off Alicia.
Get a $50,000 investment, I'd say.
Euros. Dude, only on social media presence, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, just for that. Don't even play her. I guess you'd have to once in a while get some clips, but I mean, otherwise.
But dude,
she's not that good.
No, I know.
Oh, and do you think we'll get a couple press conference for the presentation then when Douglas Luiz also returns from the Copa America?
But there's a big question from Carr. How well is that grass kept? What color is the grass? What color was the grass?
I bet it's very wet.
So the other thing, we never covered this, but we'll cover it as we're signing off here. So apparently they're saying that if the Calafiori doesn't happen, then it's a walk in the park for Hoyson to come in and save the day. Where I'm like, if he's the guy that you're expecting to come in and start, you have lost.
Dude, he wants to go. He wants consistent starting time, and wherever he goes, he won't get that. But he doesn't realize that he's delusional. Please,
he's busy banging OnlyFans models, guys,
and being high.
He's high and he's banging OnlyFans models. He was in Ibiza with OnlyFans models. I don't think he's great for the Juve brand.
Hey,
JC is reprimanding German Dave here.
You know me. I'm an honest man.
You have to behave.
I share my thoughts with you. I don't hold anything back.
First Jello being huge and now Jello being what?
Huge, wet, got it all. All right.
Oh, Jesus, Carr.
Right, man, all the news. It's all. Listen. The next time we're talking, I hope it's about Koopmeyer's on the team because I am so done. The whole live, I've been getting notifications of a different journalist saying that after the first 2 signings, this one, it's happening. It's coming. No. Fuck. Okay.
Do you know
Saturday night?
Do you know how you circumvent that? Just
turn it off.
Just turn off the notifications.
I want to give you guys breaking news, but it's always.
But everything is in Discord, so join the Discord.
Join the Discord. Absolutely, join the Discord.
You slapping shit on Discord? No,
slapping shit on Discord.
No. It's just I'm getting from other social media. That's how things get to Discord. Is we extract them mostly Sal. Let's be honest, but thank you, Sal. But other than that, man, it's just, the news is annoying today. That's all I got to say. I'm ready. I'm ready to sign off for the night and not listen to any more Koopmeyer's noise. That's what it smells at this point.
Then the next weekend, the British GP, everybody.
Ooh.
That's us in a couple of days. That's this
couple days, yeah.
It's a couple of days.
I mean, weekend warm-up starts tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah.
Ready for it.
Let's go. 2 minutes before we lose a thing. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And obviously, we'll see you guys on the weekend where we switch over to the more Formula One-esque, where we cover the Silverstone Grand Prix.
And call-in show. Call-in show Saturday.
Shit, I forgot about that. Saturday night call-in show where you guys can call in. We can have some more shenanigans on some more news articles that come up. But again, obviously, if you're new, like and subscribe. If you're not new, just make sure you like it and join the Discord. And we will see you then, guys. Hasta la pasta.